Just want to get some different shots. Yeah. Just want to try some different shots, man.
I want you to get too close, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, but look all...
Now just let me see up your nose.
Yeah, I'll do all that.
I'll edit it all together. It'll look real cool. Put some background music to make it go real fast. And then we'll go into the testimony. The church I go to, man, I don't do those, but they do some, and they're so cool. And they really, I mean, you hear people all around you talking about them. People just don't think that this stuff happens in people's lives, man, but it really does. It's really cool. What I'm going to get you to do is stand here and then walk over and sit down and then start. Is that cool? Can you just come over here? So you got... Did y'all do it already? Just let me shut this fan off.
Alright, Matt.
Is that good to go?
I want to hear your story. We'll be dead quiet. Quiet as a mouse. Come and sit down.
I ain't holding nothing back, man.
Get out. Don't hold it back.
Oh,
Get on.
tell how it is.
Hold back. I did. Jesus didn't do anything back from you.
My name's Matt Cockrell. I'm 27, and this is my testimony. As a little kid growing up, you know, it was good. No complaints. My parents were awesome. Everything, you know, I had fun, good old times. As I started to become a younger man, getting influenced by others and being able to make bad choices behind my parents' back and knowing that I could get away with it. Sneaking beers, all that, hanging with the wrong crowd, taking shots of whiskey to my bus stop. I mean, it was pretty tough. And then I went to middle school. I can remember smoking cigarettes in like 5th grade, getting high in 5th grade, smoking weed for the first time. And then going on to high school, it got even worse, hanging out with even, you know, more of a hard-headed crowd. We'd do anything from, you know, just start fist fights for no reason, jump out of cars and just have our way with people, doing drugs. Anything I could do and get away with it and not go to jail, I've done it as a kid. I mean, there's not really anything that you can go into that I haven't done as a teenager. Besides, it didn't send me to prison. So, as I'm in high school, I started getting into drugs even more. Mainly prescription painkillers, really any kind of upper or painkiller I could get. I mean, it was like a running joke for my friends. I'd have like a bag of assorted pills and drugs, you know. And if they wanted something, they knew I had it. And so I was going pretty downhill. By this time, I had dropped out of high school. I had started going to homeschool. Then I dropped out of homeschool and was doing nothing. I wasn't doing a single thing, so I wanted to better myself, start making some better decisions, and I was trying to do this on my own. So on my own, I went after my GED and enlisted in the U.S. Army as an infantryman. So I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere being in Memphis doing drugs, so I went into the Army. So I get into the Army and I realized that the crowd that I was hanging with before wasn't nothing like the crowd that's in the Army. I mean, these guys they're living like their last day, you know, the next day's their last, so it's a constant party. I'm living in Germany where the legal age to drink is 18, so I joined when I was 19, so I go from a 19-year-old in Memphis thinking I gotta do this to save my life. I go to the Army and it makes it even worse. By this time, I'm hanging out with the bad crowd that's in the Army of bad butts. I don't know how you say that, but you know, we're pretty hardcore, and these guys that I was hanging with, you know, they were the bad crowd of the hardcore guys, and it just got even worse than that, deployed to Afghanistan as a young man, being like 21. That's pretty tough. Not only that, I was airborne infantry, by the way. And so I get there, and that was tough. And what was even tougher about all that is the bad guy. The bad guy that I was before was even worse. Because now I'm killing people. Right or wrong, I can't be the judge of that. I was doing my job and I know all that. But I'm thinking to myself, I've been this pretty bad dude. And then, you know, I don't think there's nothing left for me to get saved from. I think I'm already bad. There's nothing for me now. I've already done the worst. So I come home, and it's even way worse than before, dude. It's like I get completely addicted to painkillers. Any kind of painkiller I could take, it came to a 70. Put it this way, I made $50,000 in a year and was broke, begging for money. $70 a day habit from Lortabs and Percocets and all that, and harder drugs. I mean, it goes way up the list. Full-blown alcoholic. I couldn't pass a liquor store and not go in it. And on top of that, there'd be 3 or 4 liquor stores in the different parts of the city where I could walk in and they would know what to hand me. It was pretty terrible. And a relationship was going nothing but south and getting worse every day. And the choices I was making, it was just pretty bad. And on top of that, going to doctors that were telling me, I was trying to fix myself through all these drugs and trying to fix myself by joining the army, trying to fix myself, and the harder I tried, and I never could get it right. So I come to thinking about this all the time, and God started working on my heart through just my life, my parents and everything. I don't know what it sprung on me, but all of a sudden, God put me on a job where I had to clear like 100 and something acres of trees. And my job for a whole summer was to throw these big old trees, dude. I'm talking about 30-inch or more trees in a fire pit that was 20, like 1 feet wide, 10 feet, 20 feet long, 10 feet wide, and it was like 15 feet deep, and that's all I did is feed this fire. And this fire was like, had a tractor fan hooked to a blower blowing air into it so it would burn at like 2,200 degrees. And I'm sitting in front of this fire, like having a really intimate relationship with this fire, knowing how hot this thing gets, and every day staring at it. The flames of this fire would get so high it would lick the windows of my excavator. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh man, dude, I do not want to go to hell. And that's straight where I'm headed if I don't do something about it. They say you can be scared to the Lord or, any kind of way. I don't know how it got me there, but I know it did. I called my dad, and the funny thing is I would have 2 things I was doing. I was feeding this fire, and then I was going and getting water for a water truck to put water on the fire, and it was like my heaven and hell on this job site. And I was loving my heaven because I could go over there and I could get me some water and like wash off and cool off and stuff, and then I'd be going right back to hell, and I'd be like, man, I ain't going to hell, dude. I'm not going to hell. And I wasn't. I went to church and they say that you get saved and Jesus comes in your heart and all that, and I really didn't understand it. I got that Jesus saves your life, but I really didn't get it. I called my dad when I was over there at the water truck one time. He had the Roman Roads pamphlet. He read them to me, and I received Christ on the phone with my father. And when I did and got more involved in the church and realized that Jesus was in my heart and I was living with Jesus, not only was Jesus living with me, I'm living with Jesus in heaven, and I have everything that Jesus has. And when I got baptized and saved, the day after, I haven't taken any drugs since then. It was a full-blown addicted to drugs to not. He saved my life, and when people say Jesus saves your life, He completely saved my life. If it was not for Jesus, I'd be dead and in hell. I'm sure of it by now. I mean, this was only a year ago, but dude, times were tough, man. And if it wasn't for Him saving my life, putting me in this church, putting me in front of awesome people like these and these men in this church, Mitch, our pastor, all that, and really know what it meant to be saved, I wouldn't be where I am today, doing awesome things, completely sober. Doing awesome things with my family, loving my life, man. Dude, I love my life, dude. That's because of Jesus Christ, dude. Every day. That's about all I got.
My dog. Stay sitting down.
My baby boy.
Go. Go.
Good?